Good morning, Adventure Nation. We just woke up at the Marfa Lights viewing station where we spent the night. Great boondocking spot, by the way, gang. A little bit noisy.
It was noisy for me. It was, an uneventful night, but...
And it was an uneventful night. We did not see any lights, but the sky was absolutely incredible. So, today we're going to run down into Marfa, do some last-minute sightseeing down there, and then we're off to Big Bend National Park. We've heard that it's spectacular, and it's a park that's very rarely visited or not so well known. So we're going to go check it out because this is the Motorhome Experiment. We're heading up into a compound called the Chinati Foundation, and it's a art compound that is supposed to be really cool. Oh, that's blocked off.
I saw him coming out of there, so I wondered, oh, that's blocked off.
I was hoping that I could come around there. Staff only. See, we can't get out.
That's why I tried to tell you beforehand.
Let's see if we can get around there.
Okay, let me see if we can pause it.
Okay, as you probably caught at the end of that last video, I drove into a parking lot like a dummy and didn't know if I could get out. Couldn't get out. So we had to unhook the car and then back up the dolly and get out onto the street. I think I could have turned around in the back, but they didn't want us driving the RV behind their art thing. They're a little touchy here, just like they are with cameras. So we're going to okay, so we just found out here at the Chinati Foundation that there are free things to do and there's some paid exhibits. We're going to do one of the paid exhibits because the building just looks too freaking cool. And I'm not supposed to show you this, but that's the building there. And no photography inside any of the buildings here if you come and visit the Chinati Foundation. So we're going inside. You guys got to stay out. Okay, this is pirated video because we're not supposed to have video in here, but pretty cool, especially if you're into like minimalist art. It's just a neat building. Wave, Lori. We're now out at Mr. Judd's concrete sculptures, and there's 15 of them. We're only going to check out a few. There's only so many ways I think that you can lay concrete. See, I have no appreciation for art whatsoever. Alright, so we had a really cool visit to the Chinati Foundation. Did I say that right? Chinati Foundation. I don't know. It was pretty cool. Now, something like that, I really think that you need to be into art, especially minimalist art, to appreciate it. But we paid $10 to go in the two buildings to see the minimalist art, and it was really cool. The guy, I can't remember his first name. His last name's Judd, anyways. And he's the guy that kind of brought all this art stuff to Marfa, and it's on their old army base or an old fort that's out there, and they've done a great job. The buildings are spectacular. The buildings themselves are spectacular, and then the art inside is pretty cool as well. But yeah, really suggest that you be a minimalist art aficionado at least to really appreciate it. But I liked it, and I'm not really a big art guy. Now, one thing I'm going to say is if you saw the footage that I took inside the building, if you happen to be from the Chinati Foundation and you see that, some of you guys that if you own stores and art galleries and things like that, I understand photography not being allowed because people can sell that photography. Certain types of video, especially social media, if you're not allowing people to put that stuff on social media, they will never see your stuff and they will never know whether they want to go see it. one of two things happens when you guys see the videos, because I hear it in the comments. I either hear, I'm glad I saw that, I never have to go there and see that. That person would never come and see your stuff to begin with, ever. They're just not going to. Like even old Tucson, we had some people say they didn't want to go. They would never have gone to begin with.
It's not their thing.
It's not their thing. But you have other people, and the majority of the comments we get is, I'm putting that on my bucket list. That is a must do. I'm gonna go see that. It's once they're exposed by video, you don't just go, I don't want to go there anymore. So I really think they do themselves a disservice by not allowing certain types of video, either maybe by phone or for simple cameras and things like that. And if they know that it's going to be shared on social media, because it exposes them to so many more people. And that's my rant on that, because I know some of you guys are going to look at that and go, not my thing, not going. Cool, because you wouldn't have went anyways. And other people are going to see that and go, man, that looks really cool, really interesting. Seeing it in person is completely different than seeing stuff on video. And Lori and I do it all the time. We choose a lot of the stuff that we do and a lot of things we see from stuff we see on video. So,
oh, by the way, it's Donald Judd.
Donald Judd. Okay, cool.
So if you want to Google it,
GTS it. So that's it for Marfa. We're on to Big Bend National Park, and I'm really looking forward to this. It's one of the least visited parks, but it's supposed to be spectacular. So let's rock and roll.
Let's go.
By the way, remember I was doing the oil change the other day, and I said something about having the quick change oil thing, but I couldn't put it on because I couldn't find it. I found it.
Where was it?
It was in the pocket of the jacket that I was wearing when we were moving out of the house. Unbelievable. That will now have to wait for the next 7,000 miles or so to get installed, because I'm not popping that out and wasting a bunch of oil just to put the quick release on there. But the next oil change, it's on. You can see some of the cement structures off to the right there. Those are part of Mr. Judd's art display and art project. Interesting stuff. Again, if I put cement out in the middle of a field, people would just think I'm nuts. Somebody else does it, it's art. Alright, we just pulled into Presidio, Texas, which is right on the Mexico border, like a lot of Texas. And the little town on the other side is Ojinaga. And we're not going to be crossing here, but we understand it's... Oh yeah, we almost did by mistake. It was literally like, oh, we're at the border. But we are going to continue down what is called River Road. And it takes us right along the border between Texas and Mexico, right along the Rio Grande and into Big Bend National Park. It's supposed to be a spectacular drive, and I can't wait.
And this is supposed to be the oldest town in the country, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to. Presidio is supposed to be the oldest town in the country. We just saw a sign that said established in 1683.
Yeah, that's a town.
That's crazy.
Well, these 3 rooms were the servant quarters, and it's amazing how Adobe kept everything so nice and cool. Like right now it's like super warm, came in here, and it's so nice. We're supposed to pay $5 per person at the office. We just can't seem to find the office. We're already touring around and we don't find the office.
I think it's out in this other area here. So they said the Spanish brought these ox carts in 1590. And pretty much you can argue that they are some of the first wheeled vehicles ever to be in the United States. I don't know if this is a recreation of one or a real one, but that thing is pretty freaking cool. Pretty decent sized dining room, Lori.
Yep. Well, remember, before there were big families. So.
Wasn't 2.5 kids?
No.
Well, and this was a fort, so this was soldiers and people protecting the fort too. This is a sleeping quarters. It's the family parlor. What an amazing piece of history. Fort Leaton. I would have liked to have spent more time at Fort Leaton. We kind of just buzzed through quick. It was $5 a piece to get in. So we just filmed a little bit in there, walked around, learned a little of the history of it. But what an amazing place. It's so well restored, and you can just feel, I don't know, it's the ambiance of just feeling what it might be like to live back then. The fort was used to protect them from Apache Indian attacks. And this whole area, steeped in history, when they talk about Ojinaga, the one little village here, said that it was part of a very important battle back in 1914. So some really significant history happening in this area. There's historical landmarkers every other mile, and so you can't stop at them all. But Fort Leaton's a really neat stop, and we were literally the only people in there. So very cool place. We're leaving Fort Leaton. We're heading down River Road, which I think is Texas 170. It literally runs right along the Rio Grande all the way down to Big Bend National Park. Am I saying that right? Grande or Grande?
Grande.
Rio Grande. So
It's okay.
I have my Mexican interpreter. I knew I was close. Fort Leaton was a really cool stop. It is not wheelchair accessible. $5 a person. We spent 15 minutes in there. We probably could have spent an hour if we'd really looked at all the exhibits. It was really cool, I thought, but we spent no time in there. But really worth a stop, especially for $5.
And the $5 give you access to a lot of the hikes within the river,
right.
like right next to the river.
Yeah, it's a permit of some kind for some other stuff as well, so we'll see that here in just a minute. So, very cool. And the picnic tables, Lori said, were the best picnic tables she's ever seen at a rest area or rest stop. Super clean. She said she would picnic there, no problem. It's not like those ones that are normally really gross at the rest stop. So that's a plus if you want to picnic, Fort Leaton. And now we're on the River Road and heading to BJ's RV Park. Interesting name. That is the Rio Grande right there.
Yeah.
On the right. All right, so we were driving down River Road towards our campground, and we saw a pull-off so that we can come over to the Rio Grande and check it out. It looks pretty amazing in this little area that we're in. I have no idea what this area is called, but we're somewhere in the Big Bend Ranch State Park as we're heading over to the Big Bend National Park.
Yeah.
Check this out. Now this right here, this is the Rio Grande River right here. This is the United States. That is Mexico. It is a $5,000 fine to cross if you touch that side because you are in another country. Man, it is absolutely gorgeous here. Okay, I'm gonna test a theory here. Yep, Mexico is literally a stone's throw away.
Unless I throw it and it's not. Here's RV. You can see there the river and the canyon. Look at this mountain range, how gorgeous it is, and the river at the bottom of here. And if you can see on the very back there, there's actually people camping. They're down there with the cars, and you can set up a tent, and you need a permit to do that, but basically you can tent right at the river that is also the border. It's just so gorgeous.
Oh, wow. This side's the United States, the other side is Mexico. It's really gonna suck when Trump builds his wall here and you're not gonna be able to see that side. Wonder how tall it's gonna be. 40 feet? 60? 80? I don't know. It's gonna kind of ruin the sights, don't you think?
Speechless.
All right, so we've arrived here at BJ's RV park in Terlingua, Texas.
Yeah, you heard right.
Yeah, BJ's. I don't know. I didn't name it, but and it's Terlingua, Texas. Terlingua? Is that correct?
I have no idea.
I think it's Terlingua. That's what we're going with.
I don't know where I am.
We're just outside of Big Bend National Park. We'll be checking that out over the next couple of days. Today was an absolutely amazing drive from Marfa down here. We came Marfa, Presidio, and then along the River Road, which is Texas 170. Absolutely amazing.
It was a total surprise how cool it is. We weren't expecting like this kind of drive. It was gorgeous. It was pretty cool. And just as an FYI, just to leave Marfa behind, is like when we were at the Chinati Foundation, one of the girls there, she has been born and raised there, and she said she has seen the lights. So they do exist. We just didn't get to see them. There are too many people that say that they have seen the lights.
We have heard from quite a few that they've seen the lights. Anyway, we saw a lot of really cool stuff today, and just that drive. I mean, it's hard to compare it to the Pacific Coast Highway because you're on the Pacific Ocean, but it is one of the absolute most stunning drives I have ever been on anywhere. It was amazing, and we've done Colorado, and we've been along the Pacific Coast Highway, and we've driven some really cool spots, but I'm telling you, it was between Presidio and here, absolutely amazing drive right along the Texas US-Mexico border, and crazy cool.
I don't think video makes it justice. It's one of those things, you cannot see everything on a picture, right? It's like you have to be there to see the dimension of the mountains and all that.
It was crazy. One caveat, if you are driving from Presidio to here, if you're in an older RV, there is one hill that you've got to climb up and down, and it is a monster. It is brutal straight up and brutal straight down. It's not an extremely long hill. The up wasn't so bad for us. I hate the downhill stuff when you're towing and things. And again, that's where your diesel pusher guys, yeah, you've got your Jake brakes and all that kind of stuff. We just kept it in low gear and eased down the mountain. But man, it is literally straight up, straight down. And if you had an old RV, you may have a problem getting up that hill if you're towing something, because it was crazy. Anyways.
And I usually use Allstays, the app, so it shows low clearance bridges and steep grades, stuff like that. That one was not shown there, so just FYI if you use the same app. Yeah. So that's all we got for you today, gang. Appreciate you guys watching, like and subscribe, and doing all that kind of stuff. If you haven't been here before, make sure you subscribe. Stay up to date on everything that we're doing. And we'll see you again soon in another video. Probably going to be a couple of days, because we're going to spend a couple of days here in the park. So, yeah. Woohoo.
See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.